All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CV Update. And before we begin today's episode, all of us here today would like to give our thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, who passed away suddenly back on Thursday. Thomas was not only a great wide receiver who could consistently be relied on to make big plays, but his former teammates and family members have also emphasized how great of a person and teammate he was with his joyous personality that permeated through the locker room. So Demaryius Thomas and his family, we have you in our thoughts and prayers, everyone.
That's a terrible loss, tragic loss for the NFL, and more than anything for humanity. He had great contributions to the game, and especially at stint he had with the Patriots. Of course, the bulk of his career with the Broncos after that. I mean, winning a championship and doing all of that. But 33, it's a tragedy and it's a loss, and the NFL won't be the same.
Definitely agree.
I'd like to offer my thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of Demaryius Thomas. Of course, he was a great wide receiver for Denver, especially when Peyton Manning was there. Led the team to 2 AFC championship games and one Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl 50 against Carolina. So I mean, it was very sudden, but it's really hard to put into words when something so suddenly happens, especially for someone who's only 33.
Absolutely. So we will have him in our thoughts and prayers. A very big loss for the NFL and just in general, like humanity overall, as Rohan said. So, yep, rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. Gone way too soon. So, about the Patriots, we are now at week 14 of the 2021 NFL regular season, and the New England Patriots finally get their bye week, and it is well deserved, right? After an enormous 14-10 win over the Buffalo Bills at Highmark Stadium back on an unusually windy Monday night football game that now puts the Patriots as the 1 seed in the AFC with a 9-4 record and a 7-game winning streak. So today we will recap this big win in addition to previewing some of the other important matchups for the AFC playoff teams that we will be keeping our eyes on today. And as you guys already heard from both Rohan and Ujan Talukdar, both of them have been heavy contributors to the podcast. So guys, welcome back to the show, and yeah, glad to have you guys.
Thank you very much, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. So let's talk about this game first. I mean, Mac Jones, 2 of 3, 19 yards. Not every day you read that stat line, and in a win, especially, right? You don't usually hear that the quarterback only threw the ball 3 times and completed 2 passes. So at least was able to complete.
He only missed one.
Yeah. And the one he missed was probably one that could have been caught too. So I'll give him a break there. But I don't know. It's just a very interesting game plan. But I mean, the run game, on the other hand, Damian Harris, 10 carries for 111 yards, and he scored the touchdown, 64-yard touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson, a great game again, 24 carries for 78 yards. Yeah. And Brandon Bolden, 4 carries for 28 yards, 1 catch for 7 yards, and a 2-point conversion. And the other catch was from Jonnu Smith, the tight end, 1 catch for 12 yards, which was a terrific play too. I mean, I don't know how Smith caught that ball. Like, that was a terrific athletic play by Jonnu Smith. So, I mean, just all around, Bolden, this was the run game on offense, essentially, by all regards, right? I mean, this was a terrific, performance by the run game to basically move the ball down the field. And I mean, even getting that touchdown, that 64-yard touchdown, that was enormous because the Patriots were facing the wind at the time, the worst part of the field they were facing. And to get that touchdown, that is enormous with the 2-point conversion, because I feel that kind of really set the flow, because I know Buffalo got the touchdown to make it 8-7, but I mean, they just never gave up the lead at all, right? So I mean, this was a huge win and just momentum setting win. We'll talk about all of that, but what was your main takeaway, Ujan, first about this game?
It shows that our running game is the Patriots' strength, and we knew that, but this game really cemented that. I mean, I just personally thought that the Bills should have known that we were gonna run the ball, and I think on the first drive, the first drive of the game, it was a 3-and-out, and of course Jake Bailey having a punt in the wind, that didn't go very far. I thought that landed in the Great Lakes or something. How far off the field that went. And of course, I think he had a second punt that was not much better. I'll put it that way. But like it was very obvious that when the Patriots were going in the direction against the wind, they were going to run the ball. So, I mean, of course, when you have that, you have to make holes for the running back to go through. And on that long touchdown run, that's precisely what happened. Once Damian Harris got the first down and then kind of cut back toward the middle of the field, he went straight, and he probably could have gone to Foxborough without being tackled. Let's be honest. Like, and then of course, like I was hoping that at least Mac would throw the ball like when we were going with the wind, like perhaps like a play action or something. But I was surprised at how many times they were running the ball even with the wind on their back, you know. So I was not really, I wasn't overall thrilled about that part, but I'm very happy with the win. I'll put it that way. And of course,
Yeah, I agree. I feel it was a little bit excessive to only throw 3 times. Like, because watching the Bills, like Josh Allen, he did okay when he had to throw against the wind. Like, he was able to make completions. And I know that one pass to Smith, maybe that scared them away when like Smith made a great effort to get that catch. But like at the same time, I'm also thinking like, I mean, is it really necessary that like to just throw it 3 times? Like you couldn't do like a short screen or maybe find like Myers or Bourne for like a short 5-6 yard pickup from time to time. Like I understand like running the ball for the most part, but I also feel like maybe you could have had Mac throw it 10 times. Again, like they won the game. So at the end of the day, the Patriots were able to accomplish what they were set out to do, which was to win a big game. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder if 3 completions was just too few. Like, I mean, running the ball that much, like, I mean, it's cool that it happened. Like it's like a historic type of game, right? Like when's the last time, like I think 1970, I forget what they said, but like the last time like since the 70s or something like that, right? When a team just won a game with like 3 pass attempts. So yeah, I mean, it was an unusual game plan. Like, I mean, fortunately, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are both emerging as terrific running backs for the team. So, Rohan, what was your takeaway, at least on the offense?
I mean, what I liked was definitely the management style, at least to some extent, limiting the amount of time that Mac Jones can really limiting the number of attempts for Mac Jones to even have in the first place. However, I thought it was, like you said, extremely excessive. That's the part that I didn't like in the sense that the running game did a great job. The running game did a phenomenal job, and Damian Harris, like hats off to him for his performance. However, I would have to say the offense still had some things to be desired. In addition to the over reliance on the run game, I mean, as usual, their red zone offense kind of struggled. I mean, they scored only 1 touchdown the whole game, and of course, I mean, credit to the defense for essentially for containing Josh Allen and the Bills. I mentioned that last week as one of the keys to the game, and the Patriots defense successfully was able to do that. However, like after all that, there were still some mishaps, like on special teams. For example, like after that punt, which got misplayed, and then that gave the Bills an advantageous field position, and they were able to score off of that. And I would say that the lack of offense, it is a problem moving forward, and the red zone definitely has been a problem. It didn't really get noticed because a win's a win, but. So I would have to say that some of the over reliance on the run game also has to do with the fact that, maybe Belichick doesn't have that kind of faith in Mac Jones yet, to have him throw in the wind. I mean, like you said, Josh Allen, he was able to throw a little bit, a few passes here and there, a little bit in the wind, and I feel like Mac Jones could have done that, but given the stakes of that game, and given how precisely to the last detail Belichick wanted each and every play to go through, I could see why he did that, and I can't disagree with him in retrospect. But did I think it was bizarre at the time? Definitely. And is this going to be sustainable moving forward? I don't think so. So there's some things I like, some things I don't like, but overall, a win's a win, and of course, in an important game like this, I'll take it.
Yeah, and overall, like I would say that if I come on here and I like to give a rating out of 10, I'd say a 9 out of 10. And I'd take off a point because of the whole the punt where N'Keal Harry muffed it. I personally didn't. I at least I thought at the time, first of all, why do we even have two guys back to field the punt when the punt's going to go with the wind? The very worst case scenario is the ball's gonna carry all the way and it'll probably go for a touchback. Like, it's not that it really, or even if nobody was there, like if N'Keal Harry wasn't even there, you'd have the ball down at like the 15, 16 yard line, which in all essentially is a touchback because like a 5 yard difference in terms of starting position. But I mean, of course, that could be a big difference considering when you're punting with the wind. But I mean, that was just the one takeaway. And of course, the following play, what do you know? Josh Allen throws the ball and it's a touchdown. And suddenly it's a 1 point game. It's not really something I personally was in favor of, especially I don't really know what N'Keal Harry was doing back there too. Let's be honest. But overall, like, if I would have liked to see the Patriots make the Bills think they're going to pass, like, maybe line up in the shotgun. Like, even if you line up in the shotgun, it's a 5 yard snap. Like, against the wind, it shouldn't be that hard to snap the ball against the wind just 5 yards, right? Or even the pistol is 2 or 3 yards. So I would have liked to hope that, he would at least make the Bills think you're gonna pass, and like maybe like a draw play or something, or like a quick screen out to the edge. But I guess if ultimately when the running game worked, I understand why they stuck to it. But like, I would have liked to have seen them pass it, considering there was no Tre'Davious White in the secondary for the Bills.
Definitely. Like, I mean, at this point, it was a very interesting game plan. And like, I mean, now like 13 games into the season, you're sort of starting to wonder, maybe Belichick as like a blueprint. Maybe the team he's looking at is like the 2019 San Francisco 49ers, who had like Jimmy Garoppolo and then a very good run game, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and that was good enough to get to the Super Bowl and have a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl. Obviously, they weren't able to hold it, but that Niners defense was terrific, like a very stingy defense, very good. So maybe that's the blueprint Belichick is trying to follow. Like, he knows Mac Jones at this point is really at best probably going to be like a game manager, someone like a Jimmy Garoppolo. So maybe that's how he's viewing the season. Like, maybe I think eventually he expects Mac Jones to be better than what he is now, and that will come over due time as a rookie from second year, third year. But I can't help but wonder if Belichick is now starting to look at the 49ers as a blueprint and see, maybe this is how I can reach the Super Bowl. And then, excuse me, if I reach the Super Bowl, then I'll be able to devise a good enough game plan to stop the opposing offense, because my defense is number one ranked right now, and for good reason. So let's talk about the defense. I mean, that was the best effort by the defense all season, like hands down for me at least. Like, I mean, A+ for the defensive end, like just terrific. Like, I can't emphasize like those final 2 drives, how nervous I was. And obviously you get a break when Bill's kicker, Tyler Bass, misses that field goal, the 33 yards, which also was set up on a sack by Matthew Judon, because the Bills were at the Patriots 6 yard line. Judon sacks Josh Allen for a 9 yard loss and pushes that field goal from 24 yards to 33 yards, which causes a miss. That was enormous. And then the final drive, just terrific game planning. Miles Bryant batting that ball down, doing a terrific job reading that pass by Josh Allen. Just like I mean, I can't have enough words. Like, I haven't been probably dissatisfied by the defense since Super Bowl 53. I mean, which has been like over almost going to be 3 years from now. So, I mean, just an all-round terrific performance against a very good team, a team like that. The Patriots have sort of been used as like a measuring stick at this point, right? Because the Bills are a very good team. So, and you go on the road and the defense needed to step up. This was a big time win by the defense. I mean, defense was just outstanding, like forcing that fumble by Matt Breida, which actually set up the Damian Harris touchdown run. It was actually the Bills were at the Patriots 29 yard line. And then Allen fumbled that handoff to Matt Breida. Patriots recovered it. First play, they get 5 yards. Next play, the 64-yard touchdown. That touchdown was set up by a turnover by the defense. So yeah, just, I mean, what else? I mean, I'm going to give an A+ for the defense. Like, just outstanding game, like terrific game. I don't even fault them for the touchdown because that was on the short field because of the muff punt by N'Keal Harry. So yeah, I mean, Ujan, Rohan, any thoughts on the defense? I mean, I thought it was a terrific job. The best of the season.
This defense has the potential to get to move the Patriots all the way. I see them as championship contenders now. I was skeptical. I mean, I thought that at best maybe the Patriots are good. You know, Mac Jones, okay, maybe he's okay now. Mac Jones has gotten better, but do they really have what it takes to go all the way? With the defense I saw against the Bills, they were stopping everything. Josh Allen was pretty much ineffective, and like you said, even the one touchdown that was allowed, that was after a misplayed punt. So you can't really blame them for anything. In fact, the defense almost pretty much. I would have to give credit mainly to the defense, right? I mean, most of the attention went to the run game because of the lack of passing, at least on offense. But the fact that the Bills were held to 10 points, I mean, that's pretty much unheard of, right? Holding the Bills to 10 points and then scoring only 14 and still winning. That's not possible unless you have the kind of defensive lineup that the Patriots had. And of course, it's going to get even stronger next week because it looks like Kyle Duggar is coming back from the COVID list. So that's a safety we're getting back over there. So I mean, a little bit of offsetting for the fact that we're probably losing Damian Harris. That's the big one, right? Because he did get injured in the game against the Bills. So
But
it's kind
with
of a mixed
Harris's loss, you
mixed
still
message.
have Ramondre Stevenson, right? So that's going to be
Yeah,
big.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, like full credit to the defense, and I see them as championship contenders right now. And that my perception of the Patriots as a team, as a unit, has pretty much done a 180. I mean, not, 180 might be an exaggeration. I thought they were good, but not championship contenders. They've changed my opinion in the last few weeks, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're definitely a contender in the AFC. I'm not entirely sure about. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd go to as far as championship contender, considering there are a ton of really good defenses on the NFC side, such as Arizona and Green Bay. But that's a discussion that we can have later on.
Pats almost beat Tampa, so I mean the Patriots are capable of competing against anyone.
They almost beat Dallas too.
That is true, but have you? I mean, I know, of course, we beat Arizona last year with Cam Newton as quarterback. But all things considered, like, are we gonna do this same thing against Aaron Rodgers? Maybe. What about, like, we showed that we can hold the Bucs to less than 20 points, albeit at Gillette Stadium, and of course, yes, it was early season. The weather wasn't really a factor at that point. But
That was a home game because it was Tom Brady in his old yard.
that's true. But like overall, I think as long as Mac Jones can at least show that he can throw the ball, like in like maybe like a quick screen pass to the edge, like get Kendrick Bourne out on the edge and off to a running start. Like I didn't mind like the jet sweeps that I think they only did like one with Kendrick Bourne and one with Jonnu Smith or something like that. But like I'd like to see them keep doing that, but at the same time, maybe like a tight end screen here and a wide receiver screen here, and then of course a running back screen, and then of course the one thing I would note is this is probably Mac Jones's like coldest game like ever, considering he's from Florida. He went to Alabama. I don't think he's seen any of this win before. So at the same time, I can't really blame him for not throwing the ball so much. But at the same time, but on the other side, I would have liked to see it because I felt like toward the fourth quarter, the Bills were kind of figuring out, oh, we're gonna run the ball, and then you had AJ Epinesa just closing, just running through the gap and.
Are you talking about Matt Milano?
Oh, Matt Milano, sorry. Him just shooting the gap and boom, lost for yards. Of course, we made the field goal because considering we were going in the same direction as the wind, but you can't really like we said earlier, you can't rely on this during the like later on in the season, especially in the playoffs, which I think we will be going into with a very high likelihood.
Something would have to go terribly wrong for the Patriots to miss the playoffs.
Especially like as a division winner. Like as I would love to have be a division winner and have at least another home game at Gillette Stadium for the playoffs. It'd feel like old times again, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, all around terrific performance. Like I just wanted to go into the Bills stats. Like Josh Allen, 15 of 30 for 145 yards, threw a touchdown and no interceptions. He was sacked twice for 14 yards for a loss of 14 yards. And he actually was the Bills' leading rusher in this game for 6 carries for 39 yards. And the other three running backs for the Bills, Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and Matt Breida, 19 carries for 60 yards. And Stephon Diggs, 4 catches for 51 yards. And Gabriel Davis, 2 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown. So I mean, all around the defense did a terrific job. Like last year, Diggs absolutely torched him. He had 3 touchdowns. And I mean, obviously, the only guy who scored a touchdown for the Bills on Monday was Gabriel Davis. So I thought it was a terrific job. Obviously, the wind does help. Obviously, like I'm not going to deny that the wind didn't help the Patriots game plan, but at the same time, the defense did a terrific job, and that can't be like ignored at this point. So yeah, like this is going to be a big week for the Patriots. Essentially, like I mean, obviously they're on bye today, so they can finally rest up. Rohan, Damian Harris, we do hope he gets better because he is such a integral component for this team's like offensive identity right now. But I also do feel confident that should he miss a game, that Ramondre Stevenson and Brandon Bolden, at this point, I have confidence that those two are going to be able to effectively move the ball against Indianapolis next Saturday.
Faith in the passing game.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
even if the run game isn't maybe not up to where it was against the Bills, the Patriots are still capable of pulling things off. That and a solid defense makes me not so worried about the Patriots' chances moving forward. And of course, if you take a look at the rest of their schedule, I mean, they got Indy and they got Indy after this, which is they're a decent team, and then they got Buffalo again, and then of course they got the lowly Jaguars who are 2-10, and then of course Miami, who usually that should be that should have been an easy game, but for some reason the Dolphins have always given the Patriots problems. So, you know, I think the Patriots have a good chance. Can things still go wrong? Sure, but I think it's not so likely.
Definitely, yeah, and we'll cover the Colts game more next Saturday since that's when the kickoff will be. But yeah, let's in the meantime, let's move to the rest of the matchups today for the AFC. So just this will just be a quick segment where we kind of go through like all these matchups that I think are relevant today. So the big one, obviously, that stands out is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Buffalo Bills. So the Bills are now the 7th seed after the loss, and they had to deal with Bill Belichick last week, but now they have to deal with Tom Brady. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup, and the game is in Tampa, and the Buccaneers have been playing a lot better now. So, yeah, I'll be cheering for the Buccaneers. I'm sure all of us will be cheering for the Buccaneers today and watching Brady do what he used to do to the Bills pretty much every season while he was here, for the most part, of course, except for a couple seasons where he split with the Bills and didn't sweep them outright. So, yeah, I have Buccaneers 31, Bills 24. That's my prediction. What about you guys?
I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers 28 and the Bills 17.
1917 Bucks. I think it's gonna be lower scoring, but I think the Bucks are still gonna just barely pull it off by a squeaker.
I'll take it. Okay. Next one, Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. I mean, obviously the Ravens still, these two teams met a couple weeks ago, 16-10 Sunday Night Football. So I mean, I gotta go with the Ravens here. Unfortunately, I'll say it's probably gonna be a low scoring game again, like I'll say like 20-7 or something like that. What about you guys?
20-10 Ravens.
I was gonna go 21-13 Ravens.
Yeah, pretty much consensus here so far. I mean, okay. Next one is going to be the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's funny about the Titans because a couple weeks ago we were kind of mocking the Texans who they played, and we pretty much were like, is anyone going to be picking the Texans? And one man who's actually not here today, Anirban, he picked the Texans, and the Texans actually beat the Titans, and the Texans were the worst team in the AFC at the time. So I don't know. Are we rooting for the history to repeat itself?
I'm gonna go for the upset on this one and go with Jacksonville. I'm gonna I'm laughing as I say it, but it's gonna be the upset of the century. I'm gonna go 10-7 Jags.
I'll have to go with the Titans. I'll play it safe. I think it'll be 14-10 Titans.
I'm gonna go with the Titans as well. I was thinking about going with the Jaguars, but I don't really think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna say 17-13 Titans.
Yep. Okay. And the last one I have, so there are a couple more like Chiefs, not the last one, but Chiefs versus Raiders. I mean, I'll have to go with Kansas City, unfortunately. Probably like 28-13 or something like that. The Raiders don't look very good right now. So I have to go with Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs as well. One thing of note is the Chiefs defense has been playing extremely well since week 8, and they don't really allow a lot of points. So I'm gonna say, I think this might actually end up being a blowout. I think I'm gonna go with 31-10 Chiefs.
Go 35-6 Chiefs. I think it's going to be even bigger of a blowout.
Yep. And the last one, which I'll be monitoring, is the New York Giants versus the LA Chargers. So, I mean, naturally, as Patriots fans, we usually want to cheer against the Giants, but today might actually be beneficial to cheer for the Giants. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones is out, so Mike Glennon is in. So I don't really think the Chargers should have much of an issue beating the Giants. So I'll probably go with like 28-3 or something like that. Chargers.
You love that score, don't you? I'm gonna just say, like you said, the Giants are without Daniel Jones. I'm gonna say, well, let's go with like a 20. Give me a 27-10 Chargers. Even if the Chargers win, remember the Patriots still have a head-to-head against them because we beat them out west. So I'm not really too concerned about them per se. So really, the big concern right now for me is Kansas City from the AFC West.
Go 23-16 Giants on this one.
Wow. Okay. Feeling the upset today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be our show for today. So stay tuned. Next Saturday, we will be back for not a live preview, but we'll be doing a preview for the Saturday night game against the Indianapolis Colts. Until then, enjoy the games today, and we will be back next.
Enjoy your Sunday and enjoy the NFL.
Definitely. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.